Hello and welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Scott, and this is a channel where we explore all the things that are of interest to an old guy like me, whether it's motorcycles or fishing or hunting, cigars, bourbon, watches, weapons being the topic of the day today. We're going to take a look at my home gun room, not a gun safe, not a gun vault, just a room that I converted up here on the third floor of the house into a relatively secure place to store the bulk of my weapons. You may have heard before that this house is almost 100 years old or so. So there's lots of interesting spots to choose from. In this case, we're up here on the third floor in what used to be the servants' quarters, believe it or not. Back in the 1920s, someone that lived in a house like this would have a maid and a cook and a chauffeur. Up here on the third floor is where the maid and the cook lived. Their bedrooms have been turned into my wife's office and our Peloton studio. We have one bedroom up here still. And the chauffeur actually was over in the carriage house above the garage. But what I did is I took an old linen closet and turned it into the gun room. So I'm going to turn this around and show it to you now. So here we are approaching the door here. You can tell it's an old house because I've got a skeleton key to open the door. So here's the room. The stack-on gun cabinet right here is the first thing you see. A rack with some of the family heirloom rifles and shotguns up there. We'll see that in a second. A little cleaning station where I can clean what needs to be cleaned up. Some storage over here with some takedown cases for the shotguns, some travel cases, TSA approved travel cases for rifles and shotguns, a few gun bags for taking to and from the range. It's actually my old flight bag from flight school. You can see I'm charging my Citizens Eco Drive watch right there. You can see we're quite a bit off the ground here, so I'm not terribly worried about somebody breaking in directly. The security of the room, I won't get into all of the details, but suffice it to say we have several layers of security outside the house, a couple of redundant camera systems with analytics that alarm, an alarm system for the house, several layers of locked doors before you get up here, the locked door itself. The walls up here, it's a quirk of the architecture that several of the walls aren't accessible at all from inside the house. And the exterior walls are brick. And being this high up, I'm not worried about an attack from outside. Certainly it could be broken into, but I'm not too terribly worried about it. Obviously it's not fire rated up here. If you're familiar with my video on how to bolt down a Sentry safe, strangely one of my more popular videos, this is where I did that. I have the watch collection up here. There's a video on that, the watch boxes. These are my watch repair tools. That'll be a future video. The family rifles, up on top there is a Winchester model 1863 .32 caliber with a octagonal barrel. Next one down here is, I think, probably the first gun I ever shot. It's a single shot bolt action 22, a Savage from my grandfather's, I think. The Winchester on top, I think, came from my wife's family. That 22 is my grandfather's. The next one down is a Winchester model 1875, I think, 16 gauge. And the bottom is a Winchester 20 pump action 22. It's kind of a fun little gun. Also with an octagonal barrel. That's another little 22 that I've been messing with. It's on the bench there. So in the stack-on cabinet here, on top there's a little safe for a handgun. I have here, you see some tools there on the left, on top, trigger guards and whatnot. Some of my knives right there. I have a couple nice folders, and I really like some of these fixed blades. Those are not all of, but many of the handguns right there. I've done a video on my concealed carry weapons. Over here are some of the longer guns. Certainly not all of them. I have a number of shotguns downstairs and a locked and alarmed gun cabinet in the library. But we have a bunch of them up here. Maybe one of these days I'll do a full tour of the long guns. And this is my ammo locker. Now don't laugh, I know a lot of you could fill this entire room with your ammo. But there's some shotgun ammo up there. Pistol ammo on that one. And rifles down here. Then in this cabinet over here, I've stored, again, another range bag for my AR. A whole litany of options for holster carry of my handguns. A bunch of pocket carries there. 3 different versions of ankle carry. Some carry for extra magazines, even a couple of shoulder rigs. This one is a Galco rig for my SIG. This is an old school rig for this is my old actually carry weapon way back in the day for a revolver. And then up here are some of the gun boxes that came with a number of the handguns. And so that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed this quick little tour of my gun room. If you did, please hit the subscribe button, the like button, the bell button. Leave a comment down below on how you store your weapons. Would you like to see me build a vault in the basement? Give me an excuse to do it. And I'll see you again sometime soon here in the arena.